We're coming to you live from just outside the chambers of the Pan-African Parliament, and we are just about to commence a little bit later on this morning the 6th ordinary session of the 3rd Parliament. Now this comprises parliamentarians from across the continent who come together under the auspices of the African Union as the body, one parliament for the continent. And you will see all around me the slogan, One Africa, One Voice rings true. A little bit of history: on the 18th of March 2004 is when the Pan-African Parliament came together officially and commenced. Last year they celebrated their 10-year anniversary, and in 2013 they gave birth to what is called Vision 2063. That is a 50-year growth plan for the continent. It has a number of aspects: food security, better use of resources, that speaks to the skills or the resource curse, I suppose, also safety and security, and a number of other avenues. And speaking of other avenues, I'm joined by one parliamentarian from Sierra Leone who also is the leader of the opposition party in that country, Sierra Leone People's Party, and is a part of the sessions. Will be representing as the chairperson of the Committee of Transport, Industry, Communication, Energy, Science and Technology. I'm joined from Sierra Leone by the Honourable Dr. Bernadette Lahai. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning.
Let's speak about your committee and the mandate thereof, especially in light of Vision 2063.
My committee, which is called Committee on Transport, Industry, Communication, Energy, Science and Technology, is one of the 10 permanent committees of the Pan-African Parliament. And my committee is charged with the responsibility to working with the African Union and the peoples of Africa to promote policies and programs on industry, science and technology, energy and transport. You know that for Africa to move on, we need industrialization. For Africa to move on and live as one family, we need to close the physical gap by ensuring that we have quick and easy transportation of people and goods throughout Africa without any barrier. We also need energy, which is now the engine of growth. For all sectors, energy is like the cross-cutting issue because you now have sustainable energy for all to promote education for all. You need sustainable energy to promote science and technology. You need sustainable energy to promote health, sustainable health. So my committee is a very important committee for Africa, especially as we move forward for the next 50 years, where we hope that the agenda for Africa, the strategic document that is going to guide the development and vision for Africa for the next 50 years is going to be very key, and my committees will have a determinate effect on how we pursue this agenda.
I think the operative word here is guide. The Pan-African Parliament provides a great oversight body, a great advisory body, but some might lament the fact that it doesn't really have any executive powers. So all you can do is suggest, and even your committee, with the great and lofty ideals that it has to change Africa, that no one really has to abide by that. What is your view on this?
Well, yes and no. Yes, in the sense that constitutionally, we don't have executive powers. We don't have legislative powers. But that has not stopped us from impacting on broad-level legislations for Africa. For example, we have important legislations, we have important legal instruments that are binding African countries. For example, we have the African Charter on Democracy, Elections and Good Governance. And that is binding to African countries. And the role of the Parliament has been to ensure that through advocacy, through assessment, that the African countries, first of all, signed the Charter, and they go beyond signing to ratification by the respective parliaments, and also to ensure that we judiciously implement the provisions of those protocols. We have also the protocol on the African Charter on Peoples and Human Rights, on the rights of women, which we call the Maputo Protocol. Mm-hmm. That protocol is very important, especially as the whole world had been implementing the MDGs for the past years, and the MDGs is very also pivotal to the achievement of the Maputo Protocol, because for each of the MDGs, it has gender implications, and therefore the Pan-African Parliament has also been very instrumental, both in terms of ensuring that these documents are being signed, they are being ratified, but they are also implemented. And periodically, there are assessment reports, there are assessment missions undertaken to ensure the extent to which, or to ascertain the extent to which these are being implemented. Of course, I'm going
to have to interrupt you because we are running out of time, but I cannot leave without asking the role of Sierra Leone in all of this. You speak of the Millennium Development Goals, also Vision 2063 for the Pan-African Parliament. We see a situation in Sierra Leone where the Liberation Party that was in power came into power and then was toppled by an opposition. You find yourself now as the official opposition leader who was once part of a party that was leading. A few skirmishes in the transfer of power there, but sanity prevailed eventually. Where are you at the moment in light of the Millennium Development Goals and also Vision 2063?
Well, in light of the Millennium Development Goals, since 2000, when those goals were adopted by the world powers, Sierra Leone has also positioned itself. But I must remind you that at the time that the world was agreeing on the Millennium Development Goals in 2002, we were still 2 years away from the peace accord that Sierra Leone had. You know that Sierra Leone was plunged into an unnecessary conflict that lasted for 11 years. It ended in 2002, just 2 years before, after the Millennium Development Goal was, and we had a lot of post-conflict challenges, challenges in relaunching the economy, challenges in relaunching the health sector, in relaunching the educational sector, in bringing in the needed infrastructure to again go back to the pre-war years. But we are happy that with a lot of massive post-conflict reconstruction programs, we have been on our feet, and the FDI investment, especially in the mining industry, has been very, very pivotal in moving Sierra Leone around. We have one of the most high-priced iron ore in the world, and bauxite in the world, and our diamonds. But over and above that, we have a very good climate and lush vegetation. So with all of this, Sierra Leone has been on the way to achieving some of the Millennium Development Goals. But then we are always unfortunate that just about that, the Ebola struck last year.